Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel. We are back here again today. Today we got this video. This is Young Don with Sneako. For those of you that don't know, Young Don is a young man. I believe he's from America. He's a Christian YouTuber, and he's a friend of Sneako. Sneako, I think most of you know. Sneako, our brother here, he recently reverted to Islam. And so Young Don invites Sneako onto his podcast here. And I believe they kind of talk about Sneako's recent reversion to Islam. And Young Don gives some of his thoughts. Sneako gives some of his thoughts. So I thought we'd check it out and see what they have to say. So let's get into it. First, before we get into the video, brothers and sisters, I'd like to take the opportunity to remind you that Allah tells us in the Quran, who is better in speech than one who invites to Allah and does righteousness and says, indeed, I am one of the Muslims. Brothers and sisters, I'm introducing a shirt that I designed to inspire and encourage you to spread the message of Islam to those around you, inshallah. These shirts are 100% cotton, so they're both comfortable to wear, but they also have a simple design that serves as a great conversation starter, an invitation to those around you that are perhaps curious about Islam, providing you an opportunity to share the beauty of Islam and the truth of it with others and receive the blessings and rewards as a result. So I invite you to wear this t-shirt with pride and let it be a reminder to always strive towards giving dawah and sharing the message of Islam with those around you. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Let's get into the video.
But, you know, yeah, and now you are a Muslim.
Why I heard the meme sound effect. Now you're a Muslim.
I am, yeah.
Okay. All right. So talk to me. I've seen you had a number of conversations with Muslims about your
Muslims.
Have you had any? Oh, didn't you? Well, I suppose you had a conversation with Gideon. No,
I shouldn't make fun of him for the Southern accent. I sometimes have a bit of a Southern accent too. He said them Muslims.
Yeah, with Gideon and a lot of other Christians like Nick Fuentes. And there's been, I've been seeing a lot of debates, and there's been a lot of, all the religious people are reacting to this stuff. So I'm in tune. I've been having a lot of conversation with people.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not here to debate you or anything like that. So, I mean, just tell me, I think that I have a different perspective than most Christians. So,
a lot of Christians have different perspectives than other Christians. That's a trend you'll find frequently. The Christians can't agree with each other on their actual doctrine of what they believe in.
What was the thing that, because I remember at one point we had spoke, you were considering getting into Catholicism.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up Catholic. I was baptized. I almost got confirmed. Went there a long time in Catholic church, catechism, all that stuff. But I think I had a similar conclusion to you, and I'm not sure, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but things like the Trinity never really made sense to me, and I just couldn't see anybody. Even to this day, I've spoken with Zerka, so many Christians, and nobody can.
What do you mean, Sneako? You mean that three individuals being one individual doesn't make sense? Come on, what are you talking about?
Has the right, or has an agreeable perspective on the Trinity to other Christians. People can't really decide. What kind of drove me away from that is a lot of things in Catholicism, I would say, but the Trinity is a big one. I don't believe in worshiping a man, and I know that Christians also say that Jesus is king, Jesus is God, but in the Bible, Jesus prayed to God. So it's why am I going to pray to a guy that was praying to God? I just wanted to pray to God, and I see Islam as the only actual monotheistic religion.
Yeah, Sneako, this is the appeal of Islam, and this is why I and Sneako and many others have willingly, voluntarily chosen to revert to Islam, because it just makes sense. Especially coming from a Western Christian mindset, when you're worshiping Jesus, who's a man, but he's also God. He's 100% man, and he's also 100% God. Wait, what? Isn't that 200%? Instead of worshiping a man / God, some sort of demigod, why don't we worship who he was worshiping, who is God? And there's clear examples in the Bible of Jesus praying to the Father, right? And saying the Father is greater than I, all these kind of things. And so why don't we just pray to the same God that Jesus is praying to? So this is, like I said, this is the appeal of Islam to a lot of people. It just sort of makes more clear, logical sense than the Christian doctrine.
Yeah, the doctrine of the Trinity, as you know, I don't agree with the doctrine.
And there you go. So some Christians would say that young Don here is a complete heretic or heretic, however you say that word, for not believing in the Trinity. They say you're not a Christian if you don't believe in the Trinity. So another good example of how split up Christians are. And not to say that doesn't exist within Islam, but it's a lot better in Islam in terms of what Muslims believe, the actual creed, the actual doctrine of what Muslims believe is pretty similar across the board. There's nothing that different, at least in the majority. I think there are some small sects that believe like really crazy stuff, but Unitarian Christians are relatively common actually. And anyway, so let's see what he has to say here.
I've continued to study the Word of God, and it's really a deep conversation in regards to, following who Jesus is from the moment he was brought forth from the Father, right? Jesus didn't start off as a human being, like we would really have to have I think a longer depth conversation just in private for me to break down.
Why in private though? Why not now?
The word is ontology, which is like, what is Jesus? What is he made of prior to his incarnation as a man? Who is he now? What is his role? What's his relationship with the Creator, the Father, and all that? But
I'm not saying that. It appears that he's saying, well, it's really complex, so maybe it'd be better to have it, we can do it another time. And I'm not, in no way am I saying that his argument is wrong because it's complex. Of course, things that are true can often be complex sometimes. But here he seems to be putting a lot of focus on off stream. We need to talk about this in private. And my guess would be that he's doing that because he knows that a lot of Christians will attack him for teaching Sneako something that they believe is wrong. So this just further proves my point that the difference between Christians within their own faith is massive. They don't agree on what Christianity actually is. It's insane.
That's some we can talk about.
That's like a Muslim talking to a Christian and saying, "Oh, well, as far as like who Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was and what that means and what he means is, we can talk about that off stream." It's like this is a core part of your faith, and the fact that you can't talk about it in public, whether it's because it's too complex or because you're afraid of other people judging you or thinking that you're wrong or something, it's like, come on, man.
It goes deep. But
that's why it wasn't that hard of to convert to Islam, because Islam actually like follows a lot of the stuff that I already grew up with in Catholicism. For example, like the most respected woman in the Quran is Maryam, or Mary, Jesus's mother. She's mentioned the most in the Quran. And same thing with Jesus. Like, it makes sense to me that he was a prophet and not the final prophet. Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the final prophet, but Jesus was a prophet and he was delivering God's message. But there were things that were misinterpreted from Christians, and I think Islam corrects a lot of that stuff. So it's like most of the stuff I already believed in and grew up with. It seems like Islam was just the final answer.
Yeah. That's how I feel too, Sneako. It's amazing what's happening to so many young men and probably young women too. I don't see that. It doesn't seem to be as much, but a lot of young men, it seems like just they're finding Islam and it's like, wow, this just actually makes way more sense.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, like I said, brother, I didn't like
prepare.
I'm not trying to like debate you on anything. I think a lot of this stuff, really, all that a man can do, I believe, is present you with an argument and then it's up to you on your own time to like evaluate the argument and like take the various points into consideration. So, okay, I hear you.
All right, but what?
Yeah, I mean, how about this? I mean, we can go into
flat Earth. Where'd that come from?
We can go into flat Earth right now, or we can continue down this road. Which road do you want to go down?
I just want to talk to young Don. It's been a while. It's whatever you want to talk about. I'm an open book.
Okay, it's been a while. All right. Give me your rundown, your understanding of like what is the point? First of all, what is the point of Islam?
Young Don looking curious. Young Don asking questions now about Islam. Before, I'm not sure you know or not. Some of you don't know. Maybe Young Don has been quoted saying, Islam is the religion of the devil. It's the religion of Satan. And now, so what is the point of Islam? It seemed like he's having a bit of a mindset switch here. And he's beginning to become curious about what is Islam. Let's see what Sneako says here.
To you, what do you think is the point of Islam? What's the end goal?
The end goal is to make it into heaven. And I think the word, I don't want to say miscorrect. I think it's Jannah.
Yeah.
So just everything that you do, we believe that everything you do on earth is, in a sense, delayed gratification in order to be in eternal paradise, which is heaven. So that means doing a lot of things that humans don't naturally want to do when it comes to your first desire or pleasure. For example, you need to wait until marriage, and you're not supposed to put alcohol into your body. You're not supposed to put anything negative into your body. You're supposed to pray 5 times a day, even when it's difficult. You have to fast even when it's difficult, because a lot of things that we do enjoy, like it's nice. It feels good to eat a lot of food. It feels good to eat when you want to eat. And like first thing you want to do in the morning is drink water. But Ramadan exists so that you can appreciate food more and you appreciate water more. And the ultimate goal is to worship Allah, to worship God while we're here, because he created everything. And we're going to be judged on the final day. On the day of judgment, our actions are going to be judged. And you want to do what is right while we're here, because you can't take wealth with you. You can't take anything else with you. The only thing that you have with you when you die is your soul. And so how intact can you keep your soul before you die? And the way to do that is to not involve yourself in worldly pleasures and be a good person. Give money away. You want to give 2.5% of your money to charity. You want to respect people and just overall be a good person.
MashaAllah. It's Sneako. Very, very good job. He did a very good job there explaining what is Islam. I think the only thing I would add is like look at what is the definition of the word Islam, right? You can look into the Arabic word aslama. So Islam is actually what's the word? A noun, a verbal noun. That's the word. It's a verbal noun. It's an action. And it means to enter into a state of peace / submission to the creator, the creator of everything, the one creator of everything. You're entering into a state of peace or submission because of that one creator, to that one creator only. That is what Islam is.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that stuff is, it sounds very honorable, it sounds very noble, and I don't have a problem with any of that stuff.
So why are you not a Muslim, young Don?
In fact, many of these kinds of behaviors are encouraged by God through the scriptures. But if I may, can I give you my understanding of what Jesus was like pitching? Like the understand. So
what Jesus was pitching, or what Matthew, John, and Luke and Mark said that Jesus was pitching? Which one, young Don? Which one?
Is you go to heaven, it sounds like, right? And I imagine you go to heaven in some kind of like a spiritual disembodied form.
Spiritual disembodied form. I guess so. I guess like. But I think we'll have bodies in Jannah, no? I could be wrong. This is a little bit more technical stuff that really it'd be ideal to talk to a scholar about. But I don't think disembodied would be the right word to use.
I don't know exactly what, I haven't finished the Quran, but from my understanding, it's like Muslims, we don't really think that we can conceptualize a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Like we don't think that it's important to conceptualize God because we are not capable of understanding what exactly what God is. Like you're not supposed to draw him.
He didn't ask about God, Sneako. He asked about how we go to heaven.
Muhammad, peace be upon him, or any of the prophets. You're just supposed to be as good as you can here, and then you see eternal paradise. I'm not sure exactly how it's described, but from what I understand, the rest of Islam, it's not even worth trying to conceptualize. So we don't know exactly what it will look like or be like.
We have some. Allah gives us some details in the Quran, right? A lot of gardens and words like rivers and these kinds of things, and fruit. But yeah, we can based on these things, we can, have ideas, but ultimately, yeah, we can't fully comprehend it. You're right.
But it will be eternal paradise.
Eternal paradise.
Okay.
Okay, I guess it ends there. Maybe they changed the topic after that. Nonetheless, I think Sneako is doing a great job. I've said this before in videos. Like, Sneako to me is so impressive because he's reached such a level of fame at such a young age, which comes with, all the things you can imagine, the women and the money and the power and all this kind of stuff, right? And he chooses to accept Islam. That is like the most wild thing ever. Like, Allah really guides whoever he wants. It's subhanallah. It's really amazing. Like, to be at that age and have that amount of money, that amount of power, and then to accept Islam, that's amazing. Amazing, mashallah. So, Sneako, I need to get on a call with Sneako. We need to get something up. You guys need to go like tag me in his comments or something like that. And I need to get on a talk with Sneako. I think that'd be really cool. Anyways, inshallah. Anyways, brothers and sisters, may Allah bless you generously for watching this video with me. And please leave a like, please leave a comment, and inshallah, we will see you all in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.